Happy Thursday. Hope all is well with all of you. All right, so I believe we got started with the cells alive yesterday. So that's what we want to get off of that page before I share. That's what we want to do today. Okay. So if you haven't downloaded the worksheets, at least download the worksheets.
Miss, I couldn't finish the other assignment yesterday because it just none of them were right. None of the things I did were right. It just kept on saying I was wrong.
Which one are you talking about?
The the exploring, the one we were doing yesterday that was due a long time ago.
Explore learning. You all were doing nutrients.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was called. Let me yeah, the nutrients virtual lab gizmo. Uh it just the very the second to last question where it was uh it's supposed to be like Benedict, the Lugo, and the other one. I didn't get any of those. None of them were apparently correct. And I went over it four more times. I redid it, all of them four more times, but it just kept on saying I was wrong.
Mean what I'm showing now?
Yeah, at the very end where it's like the it reacted
This
positively to
this
Lugo
chart right here.
Bergen. Yeah, I completed the top chart, but the question, the three, it reacted positively to the Lugo test, the Burn test, and the Sunden test.
Mm-hmm.
It just none of them are right. Like it all said, oh no, this I don't. The closest I got was the Sundern test and the Lugo test.
Okay. So you get everything except solve the mystery.
Yeah, I had basically everything except for the last two.
Okay. Submit it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Submit it anyway. Anybody else run into that trouble where your answers were different to the ones they said were correct? All right, and I tell you, so pasta should be starch. Greek yogurt, that is a dairy product of source, so that should also be fats, carbohydrates. Water is nothing. Steak is protein, fruit is carbohydrates. So you would have had starch, fats, nothing, protein, and carbohydrates would have been for number two. Okay. All righty. Anybody else got a question before we move on? All right, so yes, you should have turned in your nutrient gizmo. That is due tomorrow. It'll still be open for submission, but it's due tomorrow. All right. Let me go to home and see what else you if you and that's it. So what we're working on today is the cells alive. I think you started it yesterday. So again, if you download the worksheet, and I need to do this with two different pages open at the same time. All right, give me one second. So, and then go ahead and open up the animal cell. Start with that. And again, this is a color version, should look exactly like your worksheet. So once you get that open, this worksheet is in this has the same color structures as the ones on the interactive. So again, what you were doing for the first one, it was a lysosome. So when you have to click on them. So you're not only just naming what is the name of that organelle, but what does it do? Just a brief sentence. So read the paragraph. It's usually the first or second sentence that tells you what it does. So brief, like again, this one has enzymes necessary for intracellular digestion. That's all you would have to write. Then the second one, number 2, is the pink line going around the outside. So you want to come back to the animal cell and look at that pink line. The pink line is telling you that that is the cell membrane. And we know that this is the boundary for the cell, but also mention that it has a double layer of phospholipids. That's important. Okay. All right. So again, uh, go through, download the worksheet, label at all the parts of the animal cell accordingly. And it's easier just to click back than to keep resuming because if you're just doing it like mine, it'll make your worksheet disappear. So if you want to do it so that you have the worksheet handy and the interactive, just keep hitting animal cell to go back. And again, so this one has numbers and the other one has letters. Number 3 is pointing to just the empty space. So if you go just the empty space. Oh, excuse me. They're calling that the systole. So click on systole. Now systole has 2 parts to its, it's also called cytoplasm. Okay, so the cytoplasm is a collective term for systole plus organelles. So to be honest with you, I'd rather you call it the cytoplasm, but you can put both words on the line. The systole is actually the liquid part of what they're calling the soup, and you could list it like that. With the soup with the organelles, and then cytoplasm is the systole plus organelles suspended in the, so just do cytoplasm, actually, just do cytoplasm for number 3. And then write it like this, the collective term for the systole plus the organelles suspended in it. I know you don't have a lot of room to type an answer. All right. When you finish that, download plant cells and the same thing with the plant cell. Now these have letters and not numbers, but the same thing. A is pointing to just the empty space in the middle of the cell. So just point to the empty space and they're calling it a vacuole. And you click on vacuole, it tells you that it is a membrane-bound sac, which plays a role in intercellular digestion and release of product waste. And also say that it's in, just in the plant, just actually never leave, don't worry about saying that it's in the plant cell. You can say that it's large in a plant cell and not worry about saying that it is small in animal cells. The important part, it is very large and very central in a plant cell. That's the important part. Okay. And then do ask any questions if you need to. All right. And if you haven't done the assessment on the gizmo, please make sure that you've done that. Last time I checked, only 4 people had done the assessment, and that is part of the, so the grade is the worksheet and the assessment on the gizmo. So please make sure that you go back into the gizmo, check. The assessment is right out. So once you've launched it, let me launch it and show you what I'm talking about. All right. And we do gizmos because if this is a lab class, so you should, and this is the, if we were in a lab actual classroom, we would actually be setting up test tubes and testing this using these same chemicals. So this was not just something to do. You would have done this in a lab class. And you do have to know those chemicals are called indicators. And well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think one, this is saying that one other person has done it. All right, so, but I have, not everybody has done it. All right, so again, these chemicals, the Benedict solution, the Lugol, the Biuret, and the Sudan are indicators. So they indicate the presence or absence of a particular macromolecule or the presence of that substance in a food that you are consuming. We also have different enzymes for each of these. Okay, so the enzymes that digest your food are specific to the kind of nutrient it is. All right, so underneath the launch is an assessment, and there are 5 questions. And when I check it, if you got a 1, I'm going to reset it. And so I'll tell you whether you need to take it again, but you need to do this after you have completed it so you're familiar with the answers that you should have. You don't have to send me this. It records the grade for me in the gizmo. But like I said, only 4 of you have done this. So please go and check. Just take a few minutes to check and do that. So do that first before you finish the cells alive. Thank you. Thank you. Because I have to add the 2 together. And I'm going to mark that it's missing if you don't turn that part in. Alrighty. All right. So I'm going to do attendance and then, okay. I made a note. Actually, Jayla, you did the assessment. So I'm just making a note as far as the lab is concerned. Okay, so I do have a few more people who have done it. Two more. So I got one, five people now. And there are 16 of you in the class. Okay. Okay. All right. So I will come back to the website and check again to see uh, for additional scores. So again, if you haven't done the assessment, please do the assessment first and then work on your cells alive. The assessment is going to record for me. You don't have to do anything with it, but take the assessment. It'll score it for me. What you need to submit is the worksheet, and you do that in the Dropbox in Canvas. And it's on your to-do list, and yeah, it's just on your to-do list. You need a label and a brief, very shortened description. That's why y'all got all those lines. You need a brief description. Well, I got about 6 of you who are not on camera, so I don't know that you're really doing what you need to do. You need a brief description of what that organelle does. Okay. We actually have a matching quiz for you to match your organelle with its function. So we need to know. And again, our discussion started off that an organelle is a living thing or part of the basic unit of structure and function for living things. So we need to know exactly how does that organelle help the cell function as a living thing. So I'm going to ask you, where does digestion occur? Where does respiration occur? Where does excretion occur? Reproduction, how does it reproduce? So those are the type of things that you want to be looking for in your description of what it does. Okay? And brief, just very brief. You're not trying to write that whole paragraph that you see on the website. Just very brief. What does it do in terms, what's its main function? In Canvas, it's the very next module after that. The module is called Cell Organelles Lesson, but they also go through the function of um, what each one does. This looks very. save it in Cami as a doc? All right, can somebody unmute and explain how, because like I said, you all have Chromebooks, so my explaining what to do is going to be different. Jocelyn is trying to figure out how do you download the worksheet to Cami? Somebody explain how to download your worksheet to Cami so that you can save it and then upload it again. You gotta unmute somebody.
I tried doing that, but it just kept on taking me to like my images. So I'm just like working on it while it's in my images so I can just save it and then put it back up there.
Okay, that'll work too. That so as long as you can type on it in your images, then yeah, you could say then when you're finished, you're gonna just export a whole image document into the folder, right?
Yeah, it's currently
Okay.
letting me type on it. I've been able to type on it since I started.
Okay, good. So Jocelyn, hopefully that'll work for you. Thank you, Kiani.
No problem.
Okay. All right, folks, we got like 6 more minutes to class. So think about wrapping up. Submit what you can. Okay, I'm still missing a lot of assessment scores. Let me see if I refresh. All right, please, before you log out today, please go back to the Gizmo and submit your, I need Troy, Desiana, um, Isabella. Do I have two Isabellas in here? Isabella in my other class. All right, Isabella M. Charlie's not here. Brandon and Talicia. Please go in and do your assessment before you log out. And Kingsley and Ethan, do your assessment before you log out, please. Everybody else are good. And you may log out and you have a great weekend. But if I just called your name, please do the assessment. Because I'm not going to look again after today. You'll come back and tell me I did it. And I'm like, I'm not looking. So stop what you're doing, go to the Gizmo, do the assessment. That's the thing underneath the lab. So underneath once you launch the activity, right up underneath it is 5-question assessment. Please do that before you log out. If you are done, you are free to go. Have a good weekend.